So it was maybe a quarter of the way through the trailer to Bruno that I started to feel sadder than I've ever felt in my life before. So sad, like inconceivably sad. The only way I can describe it to you, it would be as if, like, when I was a 7-year-old boy, I fell asleep, and he'd been inside of me, this 7-year-old boy, for my entire life, and then at that moment, I woke him up and had him take a look at my life, and had to explain it to him. And so I am so sad, and I'm like on the verge of tears during the trailer to Bruno. It was something about, I think, Bruno, that, like, it seemed so funny, and the guy seems, Sacha Baron Cohen seems to be doing so well, and I'm not doing well, and that was enough. And so I wasn't crying, but I was like melting or something, and I'm like almost crying, and I was like, I cannot let Ari see me in this condition. Like, Ari would never understand how sad of a person I really am. You know what I mean? If he had any idea, he'd never talk to me again. So I'm there, and I start feeling around, but he noticed as I was looking for my phone, and I was like, I'm gonna call a cab, and I'm just gonna leave. I couldn't pull myself together enough to actually get to my phone, so I just stood up and was like, I'm gonna just leave and find a cab. And I had the thought, I felt very guilty. Like, as I was leaving, I had this feeling of guilt, like I'm abandoning my friend. We were gonna do mushrooms together and go downtown Santa Monica and have fun, and I left, like, this is maybe 20 minutes into our journey. I'm getting up and abandoning him. But my logic was like, this is like, he's a casualty of war. Like, if I'm gonna make it through this, I'm just gonna have to let some friends go. You know, it was really what I was like, I'm sorry, Ari, but he probably would never forgive me, we won't be friends anymore, but I need to get home right now. I can't. So I walk outside, and oddly enough, the first thing I see as I walk out of this Santa Monica movie theater is a line of cabs. And it was like beautiful. It's like, this is exactly what I wanted to call, and there it is. So I jump into this guy's cab, and I'm like, I need to go to 3201 Sawtell Boulevard, which is where I live. He's like, where? I'm like, 3201 Sawtell. And he starts driving. And then, like, 30 seconds later, he turns around and he says, which hotel? At which point I realized he didn't speak any English. And so we're on Arizona Boulevard, and I'm pretty sure we're going the right direction. We're headed east, and so I just point forward. I'm like, go! Just please go! Like, literally, like, I'm almost crying. Please go! Please! I'm like begging, please! And this guy's like, okay. And he's like, what? Do you want me? Go! Just go that way! Please go that way! So we're driving. And mushrooms slow down your sense of time. That's what I learned right there. Because we're driving at a relatively normal pace, but it seemed like this guy was going really slow, so I kept yelling at him. I was like, please go! And I didn't even think to say faster. I just said, please just go! Go! And the guy's like, visibly upset with me, and I realized I was out of line. So I would do that. I would scream, go, go! I would come to my senses for a moment and be like, I'm really sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm really, and then zone out. It's around when we got to Bundy that I'd hit a new level of sadness, even sadder than watching the trailer to Bruno. And the thoughts were so depressing and scary that I was like, well, how do I stop these thoughts from occurring? And it seemed to me like, well, if I jump out of this moving cab, these thoughts would stop. I had that thought. And my arm started to raise a little, and then I realized, this is crazy, I'm about to kill myself. So we're in the middle of some intersection, and I just scream, stop! Please stop, stop it! Stop it! Stop driving! And he like pulls over, and I get out, and I feel awful about my behavior. Like, I've been so irresponsible that I had like $250 in my pocket in case of emergencies. And I felt so guilty, I just gave the guy $100. And when the cab fare was maybe $25, he was like, "Do you want?" I was like, "No, just take it." And I just start running. I just start running down Bundy. Past like the highway intersection where there's not really a sidewalk to run on. Like, it was dangerous, and I'm crying. It's broad daylight. I'm running down Bundy crying, and just thinking to myself, I need to get back together with Dixie, who's my ex-girlfriend. Now, Dixie was terrible for me. She's so terrible that when I told Ari that I'd broken up with her, he was like, "Congratulations, man." He was like, "Good for you. I'm so proud of you that you did that." But at this point, I was like, I need to get back together with her. That's on my mind. If I just got back together with her, my life might be okay. I ran out of breath after a while. I turn into this weird little alley, and I wind up in some gentleman's backyard. So I'm in this guy's backyard, and I think maybe it wasn't him, but his gardener was packing things up. And I came up to him, and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, I'm very sick. Would you please drive me home?" And he thought it over for a second, and I was amazing, because he said yes. He was like, "Yeah, I will, give me a second to load." But again, time had slowed down, so while he's loading his shit, I'm like, "Please hurry. Please, can we please wrap? Come on, please, can I get..." And so he's like annoyed with me, we get in his car. He drives maybe 5 blocks. Whole time I'm screaming at him. And then eventually I yell for him to stop in the parking lot of McDonald's, and I give him $100 to drive 5 blocks. And he was like, "No, I'm not." And I'm like, "Take it!" And I run. I get home. I call my girlfriend, and I have her come over, and I essentially got back together with her. That's what these mushrooms did to me. They made me make like an awful life decision. That was like a terrible thing for me to do, but I sort of got back together with her right there. Felt really good about it, and got a call from Ari saying, probably a phone call we'll never have again. It was like, "Are you okay, man?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was like, "I just want to tell you I love you." And I was like, my first thought is, I'm gonna make fun of him later for saying that. No, but then, and then I was there with, I was like, "Hey, I'm back with Dixie." You're not on mushrooms now, are you? And Ari did a good job. When I told you that I was with Dixie, you did a good job of hiding the fact that you were appalled by that, right? You clearly weren't happy. So, and then I went to see some 3D movie with Dixie, thinking that I'd made the right decision. And it was terrible. I mean, I'm still damaged from this experience. We can laugh at it, but I may never recover from this experience.
You stayed with her for months after this.
Yeah, we dated for a while, and here was I had more mushrooms. And she had come to the conclusion that I was much more fun to be with when I was on mushrooms. So we would do mushrooms together often, and I did love her more when I was high on mushrooms. And,
do you think in retrospect that was a good thing to do with her, or not so great?
No, and I resent the person who sold me these mushrooms. For like, he sent me back. And you said not to say his name. I'm really tempted to destroy his business. Anyway, that was our mushroom experience. Thanks for listening.
Carboni, everybody.